is Terry. I'm with Nicole from Down from the Count. And today we are with a queen who wrestles. We are with someone, when I first saw her wrestle, she was just rude to me. And I appreciated it because that was the heel in her character. Today we are with the Queen Bee, Brooke Valentine. How are you doing today, ma'am?
Oh, I'm doing good, doing good. Work stressful, but we're living, we're breathing.
We are breathing.
Yeah.
So the first question I always ask is, what started your love for wrestling, or why do you love wrestling?
Okay, do you guys want the long story or the short story?
Which one do you want to give?
Yeah, whichever one you want to give.
I always start with the short, but it turns into the long because this story is so, there's so many little details. Okay, so I had a best friend that we've done theater together since we were little kids. And I used to watch wrestling when I was little, but I never really got into it. I think it was more of a thing of it seemed like a boy thing, and the women, my mom never let me really watch the women because, I was a kid and obviously the things were a little bit different back then. So I never got into it. But then my friend from theater, once, we were 18, 19, started showing me matches here and there. He started with a Lucha Underground match. It was
perfect.
Prince Puma. Yeah, he wanted to get me to Prince Puma. And then when he showed me who he was really outside of the mask, I was like, okay. I mess with it, okay. And then he started showing me more and more. And then he finally showed me Sasha and Bailey at TakeOver. And, everyone's match. That's everyone's match. Holy shit, that was, can I cuss?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
It's no restraints here. You could be.
Yeah,
yourself.
no, I say a lot worse things.
Perfect. But yeah, so Sasha and Bailey at TakeOver, their Iron Woman match. He showed that to me, and I was like, damn, I want to do that. That's so cool. So I started watching a little bit more. We went to local shows, but my first indie show was in Des Moines. It was First Wrestling. They were putting on WrestlePalooza, and I fell in love with it. I'd been to a few WWE house shows, maybe a Raw or SmackDown, one of the two. But being at an indie show where you're right up against a guardrail, you can just reach out and touch the wrestlers. It was just the coolest experience. And the inner theater geek was freaking out, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing ever. So I just completely fell in love and was obsessed by then. A local wrestler happened to be at a bridal show that I was working at the time, and he was modeling, and I was like, oh my gosh, hey, are you so-and-so? And he was like, yeah, come to the show this weekend. And I was like, okay. So I went to the show, got a little schwasty, and got some liquid courage. And, I ended up talking to the promoter because I ended up knowing one of the wrestlers, through another personal friend. And she got me to talk to the promoter, and they told me to go to training. I was like, yeah, sure. And then the next day I woke up and I was like, damn, I really said that, didn't I? Gotta go. So I went, and I've been working almost 3.5 years now. Yeah, 3.5 years.
Well, we thank you for continuing to work, because if you wasn't working, we wouldn't be having this conversation right here.
I know, right?
So I was doing a little research, and I used to go to a show called IWA Mid-South.
Oh boy.
So so in 2017, you were on a show in Memphis, Indiana.
I was.
I don't have a picture from that night or anything, but
oh good. I have one, and I look like I want to die.
So how do you feel, just from that point to now, the things that you had to go through with your wrestling and everything?
So was that Nevaeh? Was that my match with Nevaeh?
Yes, yes, and you didn't win that match, but I wasn't gonna say that.
I did not win that match. That was my third ever match, ever.
Wow.
I was freaking out, and I had to work heel the very first time, so that was added pressure. And it was 1,000,000 degrees in there. So I was freaking out. I had no idea what was going on. And Nevaeh was just a god to me at the time. She's still super up there, So it's what do I do? Why am I here? What am I doing here? But she really took care of me. even though I guess I dislocated her jaw at one point in the match, which I feel terrible about. But she was like, "Oh no, I popped it back in. It was fine." I was like, "Oh my gosh, you a bad bitch." But oh my gosh, if me back then could see like me now, I wouldn't even believe it. I don't think I had like no confidence in myself. I didn't think I could do it. Didn't even know if I still wanted to do it because my first match was awful. And I just never would have guessed that I would be so comfortable doing what we do now in front of nobody or everybody.
Yeah.
So being a theater kid, what inspiration do you have that goes into your career? Because now being a heel it's all you.
Right?
When I saw you in Chicago, you was just yelling at Chicago people. I think you thought I was from Chicago the way you was yelling at me too. But it's like natural. It feels natural for you.
Well, growing up, I always played the villains. I was like Miss Hannigan. I played Ursula, like all the time. I was always a mean guy because I'm really good at it for some reason. Even though I'm the nicest person in the world, I don't like being mean. I hate making people feel bad. But like as a performer, making kids cry like is the best tip of the night. Not even like that. That means I did my job. If I have kids crying, running away from the ring, like I did my job.
Oh man, Nicole, get into this, Nicole.
I love that. This is something that I mention quite often on our podcast on Twitter, is about how influential that Bailey and Sasha match is for the generation coming up on wrestlers. It was kind of like you think about, like, especially like the older people, and they talk about matches that really got them into wrestling. Like, obviously, like a lot of people say the WrestleMania match between Terry and, because I don't call him by his wrestling name anymore, Terry and Macho, or or they talk about the match with Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair, or so on, or one of the greatest feuds, in my opinion, of all time. Also like Stone Cold versus The Rock. And I love when I talk to people who, especially like women who are coming up, and they mention that Bailey and Sasha match, because I think that's really going to showcase a lot of the future. So like, what was your like initial thoughts while watching that match?
So I as far as I can remember, like I had never watched a women's wrestling match since I was a kid. And I don't even know like if back then like we could really call all of them wrestling matches,
Yeah.
like whatever they were
They
doing.
tried. They worked with what they had.
They could, and they killed it.
Yeah.
But that was the first, like, I had just never seen girls kick ass that much, I guess. And like as an adult coming into wrestling, like knowing what we all know, I don't have the curtain of a child's mind and imagination, being able to like be so pulled into a match when I'm not even that big of a wrestling fan like that. It's just, I can't believe it. It's crazy. And it's still just, I think it'll forever, everyone will say that's a match that pulled them into it no matter what.
So obviously with your theater background, I always, and I'm one of the people, I always compare wrestling to theater and to drag, because they're all interchangeable. And to me, quite honestly, it's all performance art. So I know you mentioned like Ursula, like what other villains do you take inspiration with your character that you have now?
Oh geez. I I have the whole Queen Bee thing going on. I think I'm still trying to really hone in exactly on who, I want that to be. I'm getting closer and closer, even closer than I was, before shutdown happened. But
Yeah.
I really just try to like Maleficent, but more specifically Angelina Jolie's Maleficent. Like that, silent but deadly kind of thing, Like I have this problem where I talk too much and then I can't breathe. So, I'm really trying to pull something like that. But I really also like to cater my performance to who I'm working for, the audience, what they're used to, what's already happened that night, So I don't try to take it too seriously. Like, this is exactly what I have to do. This is exactly who I am. Because I think that's also a fun part of the performance aspect is, you know, I can change it up every now and then. If I'm in front of 5 people or if I'm in front of, you know, 200 people, they're going to want 2 different things. So I think that's another true mark of being a performer is being able to switch that every now and then.
And also with performing, I'm very into, especially like when we go like with the women, like I love gear because I love fashion. So what has been your favorite gear that you've had? Or what's a gear that you really want to create with the upcoming future if you don't want to spoil it, but if you kind of give us hints about it?
Yeah, I'd say my favorite is probably my most current gear that I just got, that Clueless inspired. I've had the idea for like a year and a half now, so to finally see that, and he's already making me 2 more tops to go with it, like, but to see that come out is like so cool, and it is perfect, and he killed it. I gotta tag his Instagram. It's the bad guy Ali, kills it. I've tagged him on all my social medias with my gear in it. But yeah, he killed that. But for future, I have this. So are you familiar with like Bumblebee from Teen Titans, the DC?
Yes.
I think so. Like her inspired, but like fused with Storm-esque gear. Like the style, but like I just want the leather and like the badass pants and the top, and I really want a cape. I want a cape so bad. And you know, if I could make it not super cheesy, I would love to have wings, but we'll see. I don't know if that's in the budget. I don't know if that's in the budget soon, but it's gonna happen.
I always love, and that's another thing, like I always love, especially with gears, especially usually with heel type characters, because I feel like a lot of their gear and their clothing always translates so well to what they're doing with their character. So not only with your character, so say like we had like open borders and anybody could wrestle anywhere, and you were told that you got to put together your dream faction or your dream stable. Who would you want in your stable?
Oh man.
Ooh, what a question.
Gosh. Oh boy.
That's a question right there, Nicole.
Oh boy. I don't even know. That's so many people. I can't even like.
I'll narrow it down. So 3 people. So
3 people.
You don't feel, yeah.
The 4 horsewomen. Who are your 4 horsewomen?
With like me in it too, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Like like you're the leader, and these are the people who like they're basically like they're your backup.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep it super local because these are my homies, and I know we'd kill it. But so me and Tootie Lynn, Seishi, love that girl, and I think that our size difference is really fun. So I think we could do a lot of fun stuff together. Man, and then Jossie, for sure, because I mean that's just self-explanatory.
Yes.
Oh man, who else deserves? You know, that's really what it comes down to.
That's the truth.
That's what it comes down to. Man, I think I gotta throw it out to my boyfriend. I think I gotta let him be in my faction. I think
you're gonna let him carry. He got to carry the bags.
Yeah. I think if I don't involve him, I might get in trouble. So yeah, him too, Lil Nate. That's he'll make our music.
So someone has to carry the bags.
Yeah,
that's
right,
how I always
exactly.
There gotta be one person that's carrying the bags.
No little Nate slander. No little Nate slander.
It's okay. He'll be all right. But so speaking of, so what are you looking forward to? Like what matches that you have coming up that you're looking forward to, or anything in ring rise that you're like super, super excited for, even if it's not for you necessarily, or what you're excited to see that's coming up?
I'm super excited for the oh my god, I cannot talk. For the culture show. That's gonna be killer, and I cannot wait to see that.
Are you on that show?
I am not. It's full, unfortunately, but
oh, no.
I'm ready. on the sidelines if opportunity does come knocking.
You coming to Indianapolis for the show?
Yeah, it's not that far of a drive. It's like what, 8 hours?
Where you at, in Iowa?
Iowa, yeah.
7.5.
Okay, perfect. That's nothing. I can do that.
Hey, it's going down.
But yeah, I'm really excited for that coming up. As far as like anything for me, I have a pretty empty calendar for the rest of the year. I wasn't really sure where COVID was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's really hard to get added to a show when everyone's having such limited workers already. So it's like, hey, let me come in instead of your regular guy that you know really needs work.
Yes.
So I'm just kind of taking a back burner now, really trying to still rehab my knee. You know, I tore it, my MCL at the beginning of the year. So I'm still kind of rehabbing that, and, you know, wrestling twice after not wrestling for so long kind of helped me realize, there's a couple of things we need to work on. So
That's always seen that. So, and I always like talking to, this is another thing, always, especially during quarantine. So what has been your other non-wrestling joy, or something else that you've been able to like have fun with, and besides everything going on with quarantine that's not wrestling related necessarily?
Video games. I'm obsessed with video games. Like, if I could only ever play Battlefront, Overwatch, and NBA 2K, I'd be good. I've been obsessed with them. I play them for hours on end. It's an issue at some point, but I need to start streaming more. At least, you know, maybe I can start making money doing
on the Twitch. Everyone's literally running on Twitch. I mean, there's obviously WWE. Some of them got to run off of Twitch, so you know there's some space for something.
You think I can buy like a Sasha Banks domain or something like that? Like,
yeah,
it'll work.
Might as well go for it. But yeah, in quarantine, I haven't played video games like in years, and I mean like years. I'm 30. I'm 30. I haven't played like video games in maybe 10 years. And then I was like, oh, what's everyone with this Switch? And I just got a Switch just so I can play Animal Crossing.
You got
but
a Switch?
I have it up to my TV now, and I got like Spyro on there. It's just like a lot of games that's really, like, you can tell my age. Like, they're just very dated games.
I need your friend code. I got a Switch too.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
Bad.
I paid a lot more than I really should have for my Switch.
I'm just like, do I really want to pay like what, $300, $400 for Animal Crossing? Like, that's all I'd probably play.
No, I paid more than that because I got off a secondhand site because they were sold out.
We got them in stock here in Indy.
Well, yeah, I've had this for months now. It don't matter.
So bad.
So, just to close, well, hold on, Terry, you want anything else you wanna?
Oh yeah, I got questions. We're not closing yet, so we
okay.
Gonna
Well,
go
you
off
do
of,
your questions first,
we're
and then
gonna
I'll
do
be
off
closer.
of what you did. So, Brooke, you know, one of the questions she asked, she said The Rock and Stone Cold. I just want to know which one you picking, The Rock or Stone Cold.
I don't want anyone to not like me, so I don't even want to answer.
This is a safe space.
Yeah, this is a safe space.
Yeah. There's no right or wrong answer.
I always got to go The Rock.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
I always got to go The Rock.
I appreciate that.
Just because I was him for Halloween. And I did the eyebrow. I had the turtleneck and the chain and the fanny pack. Like, it was great.
What Halloween was this?
Not last year's, but the year before. I did a match with Paranoia and Ark Williams. Yeah, it was just us, and we all dressed up. Ark was Chris Jericho, and Paranoia was Stone Cold. It was
Which
great.
Chris Jericho? That's the real question.
It was Chris Jericho, List and Scarf Chris Jericho.
Oh no. I feel like if you're gonna do Jericho, you gotta do Y2J with like the little tiny little ponytail.
Well, she did put the ponytail in. I will give her that. She did have the ponytail, but she left her costume till the day of the show, and I was like, "What are you doing? I've had this for weeks."
Now my next one is, She asked you who will be in your crew, your faction. Now, can you name 2 or 3 people that you haven't had a match with that you want to have a match with? Because I got a picture with somebody. I might be the only person with that picture of you two standing on the side of me that would be like a killer match.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my top matches for sure. I think that would be so fun. And I never met Faye, until the Black Wrestlers Matter show. Well, we like met in passing, but I never actually met her to the point where she knew who I was. So that was super cool. She's the best. Oh my gosh. Just even being in a locker room with her, I will take if it means I never have to wrestle with her. But, yeah, she's definitely number one, I would say.
Okay.
For now. We'll see.
Yeah.
After that happens, who knows?
Who would be number 2 and 3?
Oh, man. See, you ask me these things. And every single name that I know is just gone.
Gone, like poof.
Literally.
Gone with the wind.
Okay, so I technically haven't wrestled her, but we were in a tag team. We were on a tag together, but I'd love to wrestle Kiera Hogan. Because she freaking kills it all the time, obviously. And then Sasha Banks, because she's my inspo. So
Oh, I even like you more.
Oh gosh, don't get him started.
She's the best, and she deserves more.
Talk
Her
it.
and Naomi.
Talk it.
That's
Yes, they do. They do. Did you see her in the Mandalorian trailer?
I did. I saw that while I was at work, and I just got a call, so I couldn't freak out or anything.
Okay.
I was pissed.
I just think it's everything with that is so funny to me because I was like, there's so many Sasha Banks fans or wrestling. They have no fucking idea what the fuck the Mandalorian is. They don't know anything about Star Wars. And it's like all these Star Wars fans are so triggered by it. They're like, I was like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, it's funny. So that's what I'm getting enjoyment. I know a bit about Star Wars. I'm not a huge fan. I hate most of all the new stuff except for Rogue One, but that's a whole nother conversation. But I hate Star Wars fans. That's the one I hate Star Wars fans. So anything that gets them riled up, I'm 100% behind. So I was today I was just egging people on. I was it's so cool. It's maybe she'll get teamed up with Darth Vader, and are like, wow, and it's just so funny. Oh, I love it.
Hey, she is cracking up.
Oh my god, that's amazing. That is so good.
So I have to go here. So this poster that's on the side of my head. You were on the show.
Yeah.
We won't talk too much about what happened on the show. But they announced 2 for Juneteenth, 2021. Right there in your area in Iowa, So, you got any plans for next year at Black Wrestlers Matter too?
I'm the Queen of Des Moines. I won a whole tournament for that. I won my match. I think it would make sense to have me go back and maybe I can defend my Queen of Des Moines title. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Or a women's Black Wrestlers Matter title too. That'd be cool.
A Black Wrestlers Matters title?
Yeah. I can wrestle the dudes.
I didn't say you could. I talked to someone else surprisingly on Monday who said the same thing. And was talking about a title that was supposed to be in play. So I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything on here, but it's gonna be coming out soon on the spotlights. But it's just interesting that people were talking about a Black Wrestlers Matters title, the second person. Nicole, do you want me to do the put them on spot, or you want to do your closing before we close out? 'Cause I'm enjoying this. Let me say this on camera too. You see her outfit, guys. She looked like Lisa Bonet on the Cosby Show. When I came on, that's the first thing I saw, and I was like, "Whoa!" And she said that's what she went for. So I had another appreciation when I started talking to her. Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
I just love the color blocking.
Yes.
Because that's all I care about. Like everything in my room besides this fucking thing back here is like blues and grays. But I love a good color presentation. Now. So I just plug any of your social medias, or I don't know if you're going to be wearing a funky shirt during the Culture show, and the easy way for us to spot you, since obviously it's hard for us to recognize faces with the mask. Please wear your mask.
Always.
Please, for fuck's sake. I'm tired. Wear your mask.
I know. I live in Iowa, and we have we're one of the top for infection rates right now, and nobody wears a mask. I had to go to the mall to get an outfit for a wedding I'm in this weekend, and no masks. No, everyone was just ripping them off the minute they walk out of stores. It's like, we're still inside the mall, everybody. Wear your damn mask. And they look at me like I'm the crazy one. It's a whole other thing. But social medias, I'm Queen Bee Brooke V on everything. V is just V. And Twitch, Rackety Trash 126.
Wait,
What?
we are not getting just skip past that.
Yeah,
No.
you can't skip past that screen name.
Nope. Come on with it. Say it again.
So when I first started playing Overwatch, it was only on my boyfriend's Xbox, but I was playing it all the time and I was really good. So I didn't want him to keep getting all my experience and to get all the cool skins that I was unlocking. So I made my own account. But I am not creative enough to come up with my own username. And I already made the cringy attempt of using my initial, what I thought would be my first wrestling name. So I was like, let me just automate this and see what comes up. And it came up with Rackety Trash 126. And I was like, yeah, I like it. And I just kept it. So that's my name, Rackety Trash 126.
Spell out rackety so we make sure we get it right.
RACKETYTRASH 126.
Rackety track.
Rackety
Okay,
Trash.
I'm gonna go find you on Twitch.
Hey, if I ever see you somewhere, I'm going Rackety Trash. No, I'm not gonna do that. That won't be. People look at me funny.
Probably. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Rackety Trash. It's rude.
True. I do want to ask this one question before we go.
Oh boy.
It's nothing bad.
Mm-hmm.
Everything aside, say COVID, when all this passes up, what is like your main goal with wrestling? Do you have like a end point or a goal place that you're trying to go with your wrestling skills, or with your career and the journey that you're on right now?
I used to have super high expectations for myself. And I would have super set goals and milestones, and it made me super unhappy with wrestling because the minute you expect something, it never happens, especially in a business like this. So right now, my only goal is to just give myself the platform to be able to only pursue wrestling as my main career choice, but then also have these, different streams of income to where I can still travel and go really wherever I want to wrestle and have it not affect, my job stability or anything like that. So, Twitch, OnlyFans, I'm starting my Patreon in October, which I'm super excited about. So I'm getting closer to that side of things as opposed to just I really want to work for WWE in a year. Because that's probably not going to happen. And obviously if anyone came at me with a contract, I'd be dumb to be no, it's not my end goal. So I'll pass. So, I'm really just letting everything come to me as it does and work on what I can, which is, marketing myself and getting myself out there and making myself as self-sufficient as possible because I hate having a fucking boss.
All right.
I was about to say same, but then I remembered that I'm my own boss now, and that terrifies me.
I just found out my supervisor is the most insane micromanager, and I just can't do it anymore. It's so.
I didn't realize that. Well, I've only been in this job for a couple days. I knew I was like in charge of like a department and like a director, but I didn't like realize it until like I was like in a board meeting today, and I was like looking around. I'm like, oh my God, and I just freaked out and I fucking freaked out. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. I was like, who left me in charge? Who's gonna let me be in charge of these people?
Let's stop talking about the jobs.
You blur this out. Oh yeah, Terry can't talk about his job.
Okay.
So
He's a bounty hunter.
I'm not a bounty hunter at all, but if any of the supervisors happen to see this,
let me switch teams, please.
Switch teams and let me switch teams. Hey, you know what? We are with Brooke Valentine. This will be our Women on Wednesday with Nicole from Down for the Count. If you are anywhere in the wrestling world, you will be seeing Brooke coming straight to you. When you see her in the ring, she's going to do things that is going to amaze you. She's going to give you the attitude that's going to make you think about if she's really this mean in real life. She's not. As you can see from this conversation, it was very enjoyable. She is a up-and-comer, a newcomer. She's going to be at all the coasts from east to west, even coming down south to show you guys what's going on. Brooke, once again, we would like to thank you for giving us this time just to spotlight you so everybody can know who you are and follow you. You gave your social media. And like I always close these things out, I'm Terry, and if I love wrestling and you love wrestling, then we love wrestling. It's too sweet for the culture.